Very quickly, Kevin mentioned that I've competed in 8 contests in 9 months. Let me tell you, that was a head spin experience. As a fresh Toastmaster, joining for less than 2 years, I actually started in 1996. I joined one of those sunrise clubs. Oh my gosh, that is rough. And as a visitor, I thought, these people are weird. I'll fit right in. I can remember wiping sleep out of my eye and watching speakers like Jerry Young and Lee Edgerton as they would hold the audience in the palm of their hand as they would weave and spin a story, and you were hanging on every word. And that's what I wanted. And for 13 years after I left that club, I carried that memory with me. I'd left the state, I came back, and I rejoined in this chartered new club, Georgetown Royal Toastmasters, about an hour south of here. And I became a visitor again, and I became a member again. And now I'm a mentor, because what I've learned is through the contest experience that I have received the benefit of many other mentors who have helped me. And now I get the chance to help people like Clint, a co-worker that I brought to the club. And I get to mentor him in a speech that he was working on for an external occasion. And that's the satisfaction that we get as mentors. So the path to leadership starts as a visitor. Then we become a member. Then we become a mentor. And you might juggle these two, mentor, leader. We're going to move into the leadership role. Now, many of you are new leaders here tonight. And I want to tell you about 3 kinds of leaders. Ready? Fresh, burnt, and learned. We all know what learned means, right? It's hillbilly slang for learned. Okay? Fresh, burnt, and learned. So what happens as a new leader is you start out on that path to leadership, and you get to that sign that points like this. And you say, am I going to take what looks like the shortcut to leadership in my club? Or am I going to take the path that looks like it's a little longer, maybe a little more work even? And our instincts will probably lead us in the wrong direction. Let me tell you 2 quick stories, and you tell me what you think here about burnt and learned. In the Cub Scout program, I was what they call a Cub Master. That means I was the leader of the pack. I had 20 families and all their boys, and I was in charge. And my first year as Cub Master, the first event out of the gate is the Fall Family Campout. Now, as Cub Master, it was my role to prepare for this event. I had to go buy groceries for 20 families for 2 nights over the weekend. I had to pack all the camp gear for our group, including the kitchen stove and everything else. The awning, you name it. Then I had to pack all my own gear. I took all the seats out of my van. I stuffed it all full of camp gear. Then I had to close the gate because it wasn't about to close any other way. And I did it all myself. And I'm standing there in my driveway with a cooler full of ice and a 5-gallon jug full of Kool-Aid thinking, is this what I got into scouting for? I got into scouting to help my son. Fast forward a couple of years, I was in the day camp program with Cub Scouts. I was the program director for Cub Scout Day Camp for 3 years. We had a team of directors for the Cub Scout Day Camp. I was the program director, my buddy Roger was the admin director, and we had our wives and families to help. We started in December planning this event that would happen in June. And let me tell you, it was a blast. I was the one in charge of getting all the volunteers, setting up all the groups, all the chaperones, scheduling all the activities for the whole week. And let me tell you, the National Guard came, and they had a 50-foot-long inflatable obstacle course. I mean, it's got the hoops that you roll through and the hill that you climb again, you slide down. Yes! Then over here we had a gutter filled with water, and the boys are making little wooden boats, and they're blowing them down and cheering, yeah, yeah, yeah! Then they're shooting archery, and they're shooting BBs, and then they're singing songs like, Peanut sat on the railroad track, his heart was all flutter, around the bend came number 10, toot toot, peanut butter. Yeah, we had a blast at day camp. Now what made the difference in those 2 experiences? I learned the difference between those 2 experiences on that trail hiking up to Natural Ridge. The other boys had a trail map. They had a plan. And I'm going to call that training. That's our first T tonight. The first T on the path to the right path of leadership is training. And you are already here tonight getting your training. You are on the path to leadership. The second T is team. I didn't stay with the group. That's why it took me so long to get up that hill. If I went with the other group, I would have already been there. If you stay with the group, you have a mentor, you surround yourself with friends, and just because you're the vice president of marketing doesn't mean you're the only one in the club that can do that role. You can form your own little mini committee of 2 or 3 people and go do all the marketing you want till your heart is content. Right? So you don't have to do it alone. The third T is time. In your leader manual, your officer training book, there's a calendar. And it doesn't put everything in the month of July when you transition into that office, does it? Have you seen that calendar in your book? For those of you who are brand new, look at your officer training book. There's a calendar month by month that tells you what you need to do to be effective in your role. So the third T is take your time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your club. Now, it's important for us to have time-measured goals, but you don't need to do them all in the first month that you take that role. So, the 3 T's to stay on the right path to leadership. What was the first one? Training. What's the second one?
Team.
All right, what's the third one?
Time.
Training, team, and time. And why is this important? I'm going to read you a letter from Donna. I got this email from Donna this week. It says, I want to personally thank you and the club members for helping me through a very trying time in my life. I lost my job of 24 years in April. I was initially very scared, so I began to reevaluate my strengths and weaknesses. Public speaking was number 1 on the weakness list. So I joined Toastmasters in May. The small size of the group and the way I was accepted from the start gave me the courage to give my first speech. The constructive way the evaluations are presented gave me more courage, and I completed my second speech. I feel that the group's encouragement certainly gave me the confidence to get out in this terrible economic job hunt much more quickly than if I'd tried to do it without joining. All the best, Donna. Last week, Donna had to leave our club because she got a full-time job in the next city, thanks in part to the confidence that she gained in Toastmasters. That's why your leadership skills are important. That's why you need to remember the 3 T's to staying on the right path to leadership. Donna and your leadership skills are what makes every member shine. And when you reach that peak of leadership at the top, and you look out, you'll say, wow, from here I can see for miles.